Yeah.
But what was the driving force then to get into music? Out of all things that you could have done in Alaska, I would say you probably are one of the random few that tried it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
totally. Yeah, I got pushed by my friends. It was honestly, we moved down to Portland. I moved down to go to college outside a few hours out of Portland, and then ended up starting a band with some friends and moving up here. And we started going to shows, and we just, yeah, we found out that you didn't have to have money or make money to do it. It's like we like to travel. I was very hungry for just seeing places. I really like that. I got to do it a little bit as a kid. We didn't travel much as a family, but once I got to be a teenager, like I saved up a little bit of money, and I just flew to New York City and then just like greyhounded it around for a while and just bummed it around the country just to like see some shit. And I was like, oh, dude, this is rad. And you just meet so many different walks of life and hear so many amazing stories. And I really like that. I just like to see things and listen to things. And um and so when we'd see all these bands, like we'd go and to these bars and I'd see a rad band that I've never heard of from a town I've never heard of. And then they just like get in the van and go. And I'm like, oh, you don't need stage lights or Lear jets or any of that shit. I'm like, I always loved, I was playing music forever and like had a shitty band in high school. And then we kind of started a band. We're like, oh, dude, we can just do it. Like I found if I try to think too much about anything, I, me personally, I have a big problem with just like overthinking and delaying. It's like, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? And I get
Mm.
scared. It's caused a lot of inaction that I'm very ashamed of on a lot of levels. But every time that I've just jumped in the deep end and like you figure out how to swim.
Mm.
And so we just jumped in and we just went on tour. And yeah, we were just dirt poor for a long time, but it was fun and it was great. And
Yeah.
we got into some really funny and scary and interesting situations. And I learned a lot, made a lot of cool friends. And yeah, we just did it we wanted to play, we just woke up and wanted to play music every day. And then we just wanted to travel. So we just went out and did it. And it was a very slow, long build. And, we sacrificed a lot, lost a lot of good paying jobs, a lot of really nice women, dogs, apartments, all that stuff. We
Mm.
kind of gave all that up and just went and did it. And yeah, it worked out. And it was like, but we're just fucking persistent. Finally, the rest of the world just gave in to us. There's like, fucking fine. Here's a hit. Like,
That's the way to
fine,
look
we'll
at
fucking
it.
play
That's
on
the
the
way.
radio. It's just like, it's like if you go fishing 10,000 times, you're going to catch a fish no matter how bad you are. And,
Yeah.
even a broken clock's right twice a day.
I love that you're saying that because I've been blessed to talk to a lot of really cool people in my life. And I've learned so much from people from all different kinds of walks. And that's what fascinates me. It's all the different choices that can lead to the exact same spot, like where you're at. And one thing I love
Yeah.
about you is that you kind of embrace that nomad lifestyle that a lot of
Yeah.
people fantasize. But from experience and also from other artists that I've talked to, when they get that taste of, like you were talking about, that van life, like getting that tour van and all cramming in the back seat and driving from town to town, some people love it, some people hate it. And it's a huge like punch in the gut when you start to realize the amount of hard work that it takes to get there. So in your perspective, I guess this is going to be another one of those broad questions, but we can pick at it a little bit. Why do you think in your life story it worked out for you? Just because I know that prior to the pandemic, there's tons of people that have tried it. And I say most people quit after a certain time, but there's many people who've been doing it for years, yet you succeeded. And I know you mentioned, there were some bad moments, some good moments, you made sacrifices, but you always followed your gut, which is key. It's simple to say, but I'm genuinely wondering if you've ever put thought into it or wondered why it worked out for you.
I think I'm just stubborn. And I think we found a really good group of people.
I love that.
Yeah, I just wasn't going to quit. And there's been times like, especially with me and John, our singer, who, we're like brothers and we fight like brothers. And we're like completely different people, but we have a shared goal. And that's one thing that like really is getting me through a lot of these struggles politically and through social justice. I'm just like, dude, people want people to be safe. People want people to be happy. And And I'm just like, we got to find some fucking common ground. Yeah, me and John think completely different things, do different things, but that's the point. We found a group of psychopaths that like all have a different thing. And if there was two of any of us, like the shit wouldn't work. And you know, John writes really good songs, but he has a lot of he comes up with like some really cool ideas, but implementing, or he's a little shy. I'm like, oh well, I can go do this, you do this, then if I do this, you'll go do this. It's all about teamwork. And yeah, we were just stubborn. We're just like, nah, we're gonna fucking do this. And like, I will not quit. I will not be fired. I'm just like, I was there when this band was born. I'll be there when it dies, or I'll die while it still is there. But somebody's gonna die. And I think I'm just stubborn. I was willing to give it up, and there was always just and our like trajectory, though it was a very, very slow one, it always kept going up. Like we didn't have like a big album and then go down or something like that. Like it's always like kind of just barely cranked up until like Feel It Still. Then there was a fucking big old spike that will come down from when this is all done, I'm sure. But it's like, but it's different. Like our real fans, our core fans has just been like, and it took forever. And we just played 300 shows a year. And we're just like, all right, we're going to Missoula. And the first time we played, 5 people were there. The next time we played, they told a friend or two, and 15 people were there. Next time there was 80. Next time there was 200. Next time like 2,000. And it just kept growing over, like I said, 17 years. And so it was always getting better. And even when we're just like, God, do we quit? We're just like, dude, nobody has an apartment. We're all just living in a van or on a friend's couch when we come home. Nobody has any money. But we were just still, and a lot of times it sucked too. It wasn't even fun. Like if you don't have money and you don't have a house and you're having a good time, totally doesn't matter. If all of that and you're not having a good time and not like, then you're just like, gotta think about that. But it just always felt like we were just right about there. And it was just felt like a shame to give up. And I was just like, I just got to try this trail. I got to try this road until, and we hit just so many like tight little fucking alleyways that we had to like suck in and like work our way through. We just never hit a wall. Like, or if we did, we'd just fucking kick it down, I guess. And, but yeah, we're just both, me and John particularly are just crazy stubborn. And we're just like, nah, man, I'm going to do this. I mean, I'm going to play fucking music with these guys until I die. And so as long as people are still coming to watch us play music with these guys until I die, I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, I feel like that says a lot. Do you know who Tom Segura is, the comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah, he on this interview once, actually, I think it might have been a show that he did. But anyways, the takeaway of what he was saying was that, you know, very much like all other performers and artists, he was struggling with it. And then one day he just kind of came to the conclusion that he wanted it to happen, but he didn't care how. So he kind of let it go with how that was going to happen. But as long as he was doing something and, like you were saying, progressing upwards, then it was fine. And then it happened, right? And I find a parallel in your story, his story, and other people's stories too, that there is this moment. You seem to have had it from the very beginning, but there does seem to be this moment where people decide, fuck it, it's going to happen the way it's going to happen, and I'm just going to trust that I'm doing the right thing. Do you feel like that's the mentality that helps artists kind of break through to their audience?
Totally. It's just like, you just got to be real and do whatever you're going to do. And like, dude, you'll find it, I think. And dude, if you just got something to say, fucking say it, do it. And if you're believable, I mean, you got to be good. You got to have something good to say. You got to have something that people want to hear. Because it depends. There's a lot of people I know that are just like, dude, how do you do it? Like, you know, what do you got to do to make it? I'm like, yeah, there's totally things that I wish I knew in the past, but I'm just like, but honestly, I'm like, you got to be good. You got to say something that other people want to hear. And like, you got to be really talented and have somebody else write something that people want to hear. And there's like a million different ways, but I'm like, you got to put out something that sounds good that people want to listen to. And so even if you are super stubborn, you got to have some talent or be with some talent or something like that. Like, you got to be real and you got to be at least decent, like have a good story, because otherwise just nobody's going to really care, I guess,
Yeah.
to be successful. But success can mean
Subjective.
a lot of different things, man. Yeah, it is subjective. And I definitely don't think it's about money. I just think that you got to do what you think is right in every situation. And I've been trying to, over the pandemic, I've been trying to like just chop things down into fractions in every single moment and just try to do the right thing at every second. Just like there's so many times like I walk by and there's like a piece of trash on the street. I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking pick up that piece of trash. Or I'm just going to try to do, I just think of everything like a crossroads. I'm just like, all right, which way do I fucking turn? And I'm just trying to do a bunch of little rights can maybe make a difference. And so, yeah, I just try to do that with every conversation, with everything. And, you know, and I fuck up plenty. Totally.
We all do.
Yeah. But I'm just feeling like that's human, man. Right and wrongs, whatever. Truth these days, like who fucking knows what's real and what's not, man? I don't know. It's just like you got to trust your gut. And guts, I mean,
for all you know, I could have a filter on my face. I could not be me. I could be somebody else. Yeah. You cannot be you. I don't know.
Yeah. I could be lying. None of this could be true. I could change my story the next day. It's like, and it doesn't matter. It's like, that's what's like people take, especially now with all the fake news, all the media, everybody like going all crazy and like, oh, did you hear what they did? Stuff like that. Like facts are meaning less and less to me now. And I'm more interested in fiction, because at least in fiction, when they're just like everything in the story is made up, I can still pull out my like the morals and the gist of the story. And I'm like, and in that there is real truth.
Yeah. And
I've been really liking that lately. If I read an autobiography or some shit, I'm like, nobody sees themselves the way other people see them. Nobody has that thing. And even if you try as hard as you can to tell a story, even people's memories are fucked up. You're not even remembering the thing. You're just remembering the last time you recalled that thing. The last time you recalled that recall. It's like shit is fucking ridiculous now. And even photos and videos with deep fakes and shit, who knows what the future is going to hold. So it's like inside, man, don't look to external gratification, external truth. Try to find it in there and project that out onto the world, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just fucking went on a rant there.
You got to write a book, man.
I could never do that. It would be the shittiest book, but maybe I'll do it.
I don't know, man. There's some pretty shitty books out there, but